Welcome to another segment, Focus on Finance. My name is Shirley Luu. I'm your host. And in the world of finance, I'm always looking for different ages, different background, different ethnic, different education, it doesn't matter where you are. And luckily, sitting next to me, there's this young man, and I'm so proud of him. His name is Nathan Acquah. But before I let you get a peek look at him for a minute, I wanted to, kind of give you a little brief story how Nathan and I came about real quick. It was just that, his mother officially is one of my clients. And like, any young men in life, sometimes you're like, what do I want to do as a career? Do I want to be an engineer? Do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to be what? And Nathan was one of those young men that when I was talking to his mom, wasn't really sure what he wanted to do. He thought he wanted to go into the medical field, but I'll let Nathan talk to you more about it. So today, the segment is about entrepreneurship, what the opportunities are, and I'd like you to meet Nathan Acquah. Hi, Nathan.
Hello, Shirley. I appreciate you having me on the show today. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Nathan Acquah. I've been with Shirley for about 4 years now. I'm 28 years old, and it's been a phenomenal journey for the past 4 years. So as Shirley expressed earlier, I wasn't sure what I was going to do when I started this industry because I was studying biochemistry. I wanted to go towards the medical route, and then life happens, and I decided to take a risk and just learn something different, and I've not looked back since.
So instead of being of MD medical doctor, he now is MD for money doctor.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of the audience out there, if you happen to have a daughter, son, or even yourself, or introvert, okay, kind of shy, quiet, you don't want to talk to anyone, you just want to be like a turtle hiding in your shell, well, Nathan, would you say you're one of those?
I definitely was. Even just being here is a growth for me because I saw myself from the beginning where I was an introvert, couldn't open my mouth, didn't know how to really get clients because I was like, I'm 24 actually when I started. I was like, who's going to listen to me? And I'm an introvert. I was like, this is not going to work out for me. But I didn't give up. I kept trying. I kept looking for the next step to move ahead. And Shirley's a phenomenal coach. She's kind of like always put you in a position where you want to leap. You don't want to stay where you are. So as an introvert, seeing that change is phenomenal for me. So I appreciate that.
It's interesting, right? So I told Nathan, I said, Nathan, you're going to be on TV with me, and we're going to have this kind of conversation. Nathan was like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I didn't know what to say. As you can see, shy. Are you kidding me? He's not shy. He's going all out.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess once you just understand what you do, and it's a friendly environment, and you don't need to be shy. Like in the beginning, you think a lot in your mind, but once you start executing, it just becomes easy and repetition. And
yeah. It's funny. Trying entrepreneurship, independent, working remotely, where you don't have to report to anybody, you have to be accountable to anybody, but at the same time, you have to hustle because if you don't hustle, you're not going to have bread on the table. Right,
correct.
Nathan?
That is correct. Yeah.
And I would just say, what would be the toughest thing in the business when you first kind of start out in this, from being a young man, like you said?
Yeah. So switching from that mindset of like having to work for like an employee where you have a fixed amount of salary come in or a paycheck come in, switching from that mindset to being an entrepreneur where you actually have to go out there and fish and want to succeed. It's rewarding once you catch something, so that drives you to want to do the next and next and next. So that was kind of like my experience, starting from that where it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always sunshines. Like I had to really learn the material. I had to transform myself, grow in that material because I had to make sure I was good with being uncomfortable. And that uncomfortability made me want to grow and know that if I didn't go out there and talk, I'm not eating.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I always tell them, I always tell Nathan and anyone who I train, look, if you don't open your mouth, you've got 100% for sure no. So the only thing if you open your mouth, you have yes. Because if you don't open it, you've got 100% no, And, and one of the things that I love about Nathan is that he really, really tries. I don't care what kind of business you're in. If you are going to study and stay very focused, learn the best you can at it, then you could be really, really good. The other thing sometimes I see in entrepreneurship is that some people sometimes they do entrepreneurship and they're not very successful is because, if someone were to say to you, today you work at a job, right? I pay you and you go in and do your job is because I pay you. You agreed to get paid and that's why you're dedicated. Entrepreneurship and being self-employed are like this. You go to work, you give it all, you work day and night, you do as much as you can, dedicate and everything else, and there's no guaranteed payment. Now, when you love that, that's entrepreneurship. That's when you do really well. When you know for sure that, there's no guarantee of payment, but yes, I still love what I do.
Correct. That is exactly the truth, because there's months where I don't know if I'm going to get paid, but I know that I'm sowing seeds, waiting for them to harvest. So as Shirley shared, like, there's months where it's phenomenal, and there's months where I'm like, did I really do this? But I enjoy every single moment of it, because it's different. I have more freedom to do what I want to do, and that's what I love about this business, the fact that I'm not restricted to some employer telling me, or some boss telling me I have to be here at X amount of hours, I have to clock in X amount of hours just to make X amount of salary. In this industry, my salary is defined on how much effort I put into it.
Yeah.
So that's why I like this a lot.
He loved this a lot because you know why? There are months where what he makes in 1 month is what you gotta make in 1 year. Okay? So don't get me wrong. And that's the other things about the financial industry. For those of you guys who have never ever entered financial industry, it's whether because you don't think you have the aptitude for it. So Nathan, people out there I know are looking at, well, wait a minute, I'm young, or I'm too old, or I've done all these other stuff. I don't have any background in knowing about finances. I don't know anything at all. Or I'm young, who's going to listen to me? Like you said, or I'm too old, who's going to listen to me? Or I don't even come from the background of financial. Why would you even listen to me? What would your advice take on those things?
Yeah, I would say don't complicate it. Finance kind of ties in every single thing. So whether you're a chemist, you're a doctor, a lawyer, you somewhat have finance associated with what you're doing. So what I'll tell someone is that this information in the beginning feels like it's overwhelming, but the moment you start being exposed to it, you may not need to get all of it at once, but the exposure is that's the first step. Expose yourself to the material. Once you've exposed yourself to it, it'll slowly come to you. And it's not difficult, it's just repetition. Because a lot of this information, it feels like the IRS wants to confuse us, but they don't. It's very straightforward. It's all about repetition, or even getting with someone who knows what they're doing, like Shirley. Like having the opportunity for her to take me on and teach me as a 24-year-old coming from a biochemistry background, having no experience whatsoever in finance, and then having someone who's been doing this for almost 25 years take that time where she could be making millions of dollars, take that time to pass on that knowledge to the next generation, that's powerful. So either find someone or slowly approach the knowledge. That's my sense of that.
Absolutely. And I know, would you agree when you first came on, you were saying to me, Shirley, I'm so young, how do I get customer, right? And the biggest concern that people out there always have is that, where do I find my clients? Where do I get the customer? Those kind of things. And I mean, share with the audience today, do you think we have problems getting customer right now?
We don't. We definitely don't. And that's from us working towards that, creating an environment and a system where we're able to not have to worry about getting our own clients. I'll say in the beginning, that was my biggest hurdle, finding my own clients, because who's going to listen to a 24-year-old, like a 24-year-old baby in a financial industry, talking to someone who's been experiencing life for 20, 30 years? It feels like there's a gap in that relationship, but it's that persistence. And even if I don't, pass it on to my mentor who could help me. So it was more like slowly tackling it, knowing that I'm failing forward, but it's teaching me. That was my approach about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I had another young lady, she's in the 50s, a scientist to be exact. Now, scientist, okay?
Yes.
And she worked for for a company that's Fortune top 50 in the country. Scientist, had a lot of people reported to her. And of course, she's now with me. And in the beginning, she said, Surely, no one believes me. No one trusts me. I'm a scientist. That's what I'm good at. And my background is subject matter expert in other stuff, not in the finance. She said, "How do I get over that hurdle?" Right? And for those of you guys out there, how do you get over that hurdle? So what I told them is like, hey, don't make it complicated. In the beginning, you're going to leverage me. You're going to leverage the people like Nathan. You're going to leverage the people on my team and other folks. Well, we're able to teach you guys about money and concept and finance. Therefore, if you got people that you're near and dear that you wanted to learn and all this, we teach you in the beginning. Now, the one that are closer to you in the beginning, of course, don't know that you do the finance. That's where we come in. We teach and help. When you're really, really good and you understand what we do, you're able to go out and help our clients, other one out there. Because once you're tapped into the learning of whatever it is that you do, the new people you're meeting are happen to be brand new people that never know about you. They don't know that you used to be a scientist. All they know now is that you know so much about finance and matter that that's what's important to them if you can help them to see their goals. Look, I truly believe in this business. Everybody can be taught as long as you're willing to learn. As long as you're willing to learn, I think the opportunities are huge, So, Nathan, what would you say, where do you see your next future right now?
Well, I definitely see myself, because I see myself going back home and opening projects back home. I have a unique story. I grew up in Ghana, so I feel like a lot of my roots are back there. So my goal is using this financial vehicle that I'm in right now, help people get ahead in their finances, at the same time building up my nest egg. So I can go back home and create cellular towers, be able to bring Wi-Fi back to Africa. That's been my long-term goal. So I have kind of like a gigantic goal, and being able to have a goal like that or a dream and not know how to fund it, that was always my biggest issue. Because I was like, how am I going to raise capital to be able to fund this ideal that I want? And now I know that I'm in the right place at the right time with the right person to be able to do that. It's all a matter of just being consistent and making sure that if I don't know something, leverage someone who does. And doing my research and making sure I'm working and walking ethically. So that's what I'll say. Yeah, that's where I see myself. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. So for those of you out there who's interested in learning more, please reach out to me, Shirley Luu, 703-608-1203. And you can Google Shirley Luu and Associates all day long. And then you can find a lot about us, about our company. So until then, looking forward to meeting each and every one of you in the near future.